Thank you.
All right, please wait for the microphone for questions. Maggie, go ahead. Paige and Aaliyah really pulled you guys out of that slow start in the beginning. How have you seen just their on-court leadership develop this season?
Well, I think there comes a point when you have to realize what's needed, and I would think that that's probably the thing about, people talk about leadership all the time. I think that's usually what gets left out sometimes is, it's not get in a huddle and blah, 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 blah. It's what do we need? And what has to happen right now for our team? And then being able to provide that. And I think, after the initial start, was it 17-7 at one point? Something like that. It wasn't just one, I think we all picked it up a little bit. We all kind of understood. And those two just, when they're both really, really aggressive, it makes Connecticut a different basketball team when they act like that.
Is that what you reminded them, Geno? Because you pulled them both out within the first 6 minutes of the game. Did you just remind them that they needed to pick it up a little bit?
Well, each of them, has different triggers, like different things that they do. Paige is impatient, and when she's in a hurry and she wants to get from here to there really, really fast, and we need her to slow down and wait to let things develop. She's not very good at that. So we try to, remind her all the time of, one, how patient you need to be, and then when we do get you the ball, how aggressive you need to be. Those are two things that, all good players know: how to be patient, and then how to be aggressive. And with Aaliyah, I think there are times when, and again, these are things because they want to be really, really good, and they obviously want us to win, but there's a hurry up, and especially when you're in the lane, you catch it, and there's a sense of hurry up, like in the second half, in the third quarter there, right, where she's just catching, making the right read, and getting layup, buckets. And then there's understanding here comes a trap, and I thought she was great at that today. She rebounded her ass off, and she just was pretty spectacular, Aaliyah, in her efforts and everything. So, I mean, the secret with them is you've got to play great defense against them. They just have too many ways that they can score. And I thought our defense was fantastic.
Geno, how did Aubrey change? I mean, it seemed obvious, I guess, but how did Aubrey change the tenor of the game when she came in?
Yeah, there's I've been saying this for the last 4 years probably. When Aubrey's right, there's nobody that provides for us what she provides. And her biggest contribution might be, on the offensive rebounding end, to give us another possession. People don't understand how important offensive rebounding is. It sounds silly, but it's not just giving you one more possession. It's denying them a possession, especially if there's been a run of any kind. So I thought that changed for us. That changed the game. It gave us some energy on that end, and getting another long, athletic wing to switch more on defense, to do more things defensively, she changes the game. You know, I thought she was a little more aggressive on offense today. I told her at one point, I said, your father said that it's his fault that you don't look at the rim. And she just kind of shook her head like this. I said, so I'm letting you off the hook. I'm blaming him. But because when she's timid, she can't help us at all. But when she's aggressive, there aren't very many people in the country more effective than she is at helping their team win.
Geno, after the team went down by 10 in that first quarter, what can you say about those two freshmen between Ashlyn and KK? You said before they've pretty much got free reign to do whatever they want, and it seemed to set the tone for the way things turned around in that first quarter on.
Well, we talked a lot leading up to the game about we can't just stand there and shoot jump shots the entire game. That we had to put the ball on the floor enough times to get ourselves some buckets that aren't hard to get, you know, and both of them are pretty good at that. You know, I was saying before I came in here, I don't know where we'd be without our freshmen right now. I mean, given what we've lost, you know, what we don't have, and you think about the people that are missing, and you say, well, we're going to replace them with 3 freshmen. They've been tremendous. They really, really have. You know, Q missed her first couple shots, and when she was on the bench at one point, I said, "Not, you know, make the next 2." And she looked at me like, "Huh?" I said, "Make the next 2." Oh, okay. Like it never entered her mind that she wouldn't make them. Like, why you tell me? Why you? And then she went out there and she buried that 1-3 from the wing, and she lost her man on defense because she was looking over at me going. So yeah, they're young, but they're fun to coach.
Geno, the one starter that didn't score in double figures, had 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1 turnover.
There you go.
How has she adjusted to a different role, you know, in a way, you know, not being the primary ball handler 100% of the time, you know, having KK and Paige? And does that show maturity? Does it show confidence? What do you think?
You know, every game when we go in the locker room, we have a little player of the game kind of thing, and we usually ask our players, and somebody said, Paige, and I said, no, never. And they said, and Aaliyah was spectacular, but a couple of them were adamant that it was Nika, which goes to show you, I think, that managing the game and controlling the game and her toughness is just something that's irreplaceable. And for a kid her size to get as many rebounds as she gets on a regular basis, it has been a really, really hard adjustment for her, no question about it. You know, we took the ball out of her hands. You know, she played, 35 games or however many it was last year and had the ball in her hands 99% of the time. And now all of a sudden, we want you to throw it ahead as many times as you can to attack the basket more. And not easy. So she's compensated a little bit by, she's become a better shooter, but she's become more aware of what my team needs for me to be. That's a hard lesson for a lot of kids. Like, this is what I want to be versus this is what my team needs me to be. And, I'm not interested in what you want to be. I'm interested in what we need you to be. And I thought today she was exactly what we need from her. Exactly. I thought today everybody played their role about as good as they can play it.
This was the most Cadence played since Ball State, except for the Toronto game. How have you just seen her growth? We talked a lot about
Who's that?
Q.
Oh,
We've talked a lot about KK and Ashton, but how have you seen Q's growth?
she's more comfortable out there. She never loses her confidence, which I love. She's getting better defensively. I said to one of the coaches yesterday, I said we have to get her a lot more reps with the first team in practice going forward. You know, that'll take care of a whole bunch of things. You know, rest some of our other guys and get her more acclimated to what we're doing. But I have real high expectations for Q. Really high. I think she's got an unbelievable upside.
Geno, can you talk about the adjustment to the four guard, one post offense, and the way you dominated in the paint despite having such a guard dominated offense?
Well, we got killed a couple times today because they made it a point to run their stuff to get, you know, they have two bigs in the lineup and they're constantly posting up one of them against one of our guards. And that's going to happen. There's nothing we can do about that. You know, we can help more, we can do more things. But one of the things that we talked about a lot was we are at a disadvantage with our starting lineup on the defensive end. And then when we go big, we're at a disadvantage sometimes on the offensive end. But we may be better defensively. So whatever our advantage or whatever our disadvantage is, we have to capitalize on those things. So with our small lineup, it's taken some time, but I think you see that people have a very difficult time matching up with us at the other end. So we're giving up something down this end, but I think the positive on the other end, what we're gaining, it outweighs it, and that's probably why you see the scores being what they are. You know, we had really difficult time scoring earlier, and points seem to come in bunches now a little bit, a little easier. But I think that's just, you know, we made them play small a lot of times too, you know, so it took one of their post players out. So we just got to kind of play chess the whole time. I don't know what the free throws were. They shot 21 free throws. Here's what I'm convinced. When we had 27 second chance points, and we were small a lot, right? Here's what I'm convinced of, and they're tired of me reminding them. Unless they can give me a better reason, there are two kinds of players who foul a lot: bad players and dumb players. Because it's so easy to foul somebody. Just be late to where you're going because you're not smart enough to understand what's going on. Just be out of position. Just be undisciplined and smack people as they're driving by you. Okay? So to me, the secret to being a really good basketball player is be smart, don't be a dumb player, okay? And that automatically makes you a better basketball player. Because if there's one thing that's going to get us in trouble is the fouls. And then we're just undisciplined. And we have to get smarter too. But that to me is the biggest worry. But I was proud of Paige today because I knew that they were going to try to get to her because, you know, she's the quintessential power forward now. Just ask her. But you saw what happened when we put her in the lane, around the elbow area and let her play in the lane more. It's an impossible matchup for people because your big guy's got to guard her and she just steps out. And there isn't a guard that you have that can guard her, if she wants to put the ball on the floor and get in the lane. She's a really good post-up player. We're a weird team. We have a 6-foot guard who's a really good post-up player. And then we got a 6'3" freshman forward center who wants to be a jump shooter. Modern times, I guess. Modern times.
Since we won't get you before Wednesday, what are your thoughts on Creighton and starting 2024 on the road?
Not the easiest thing, right? Come right out of the gate with with two really, really difficult teams. We've had some weird games with Creighton. We've gone out there and won by a lot. They've come in here and gamble and probably should have beat us, and somehow or another we found a way to win. So I think they're as difficult a team to play as there is. One, they're very smart because they've been together a long time. Right? They've had a lot of success. And they have never met a shot that they don't like. And those teams are really, really hard to play against because those threes are going to come whether you defend them or don't defend them. They're going to get their number of threes up. So yeah, it's a real challenge for us. And you start off these 2 games and you play really well and you're able to get 2 wins, then get another road win at Georgetown and come out of here 3-0 this week. That's pretty good. That's a good week if we can pull that off. Like I said, I don't think anybody's going undefeated in our league this year. There's just too much that we have to overcome, and there's too many good teams, that are capable of winning.
Anything else? Thank you. Thank you.
So smart too, we practiced at 10 every day this week.